Hello friends, this is Terry with your new moon in Taurus astrology report, coming in hot at the very last minute. I feel like I'm turning in my homework late because I'm actually recording this at the time of the new moon in Taurus on Friday, May 19th at 8:30 in the morning, just before doing a full day of healing, Reiki, and massage sessions. And whew, I've been so busy. How are you feeling after that intense eclipse portal that we all were soaking in for the last month? And it was hitting. For me, Taurus is in my 10th house of career and my 4th house of home. And I've definitely been feeling like work, life, home balance stuff all of 2022 as we've been soaking in this Taurus, Scorpio, lunar eclipse, death, transformation, rebirth portal for so long, and I'm just about over it. How about you? I want to move on to we're going to move on to that Aries Libra axis next. And for me, Aries is in my 9th house of travel, and I think I just want to go on an extended European vacation, maybe a cruise, maybe just go travel the world and not be working and doing domestic stuff because I've been just so busy. And that's what I love about astrology, is how accurate it is, how when you look at the houses where these different astrological aspects are hitting, you can really see how it's affecting you personally. And this Taurus new moon is in my 10th house as the sun and moon are at 28 degrees. And this Sabian symbol is all about rebeginnings. And I'm going to read the Sabian symbol from the Dane Rudyard book that is just so powerful, so potent for this new moon. So stay tuned. I'll do this at the end. But I'm just wondering how you guys all did with that Scorpio lunar eclipse. I know it was really intense energy. I had so many friends and people who have read their charts before reaching out and saying, what is going on? And where I live in the Pacific Northwest, we had added to the mix so many solar storms, and that's something I've also been talking about. And I did a whole separate video about solar storm symptoms. And I know a lot of you were telling me that you were having solar storm symptoms this last month too. And the solar storms are just going to get more and more intense for the next 2 years. NASA is really reporting that we're just going to have more and more intense solar storms. So hang on. It's really kind of crazy times, but I am recording this on my phone just right before work, like I said, so I'm not going to put the astrology chart in the beginning of this, but if you want to look at the astrology chart for this incredibly potent Taurus new moon, I will put it in the community section, which is, if you look on YouTube, if you sort of scroll to the right, there's a community section where you can post photos, and it's kind of I think it's YouTube's attempt at trying to be more Instagrammable. And so I'll just place the chart there so you can look at the chart, and this is how you can really learn more about astrology. Look at the chart and just see these trines, these squares that I'm going to talk about. We have a lot going on in this rebeginning new moon in Taurus. And we're all going to be feeling a restart, rebirth, reset. There's just an energetic shift that's coming in so strong with this new moon. You just got to take some deep breaths sometimes with this energy, because we're really going to be digging deep for our resilience this month as we begin again and again and again. And we have this stellium of planets right now in Taurus, as Jupiter just entered Taurus, and we have the North Node, of course, has been in Taurus for a while. Uranus has been in Taurus for a while and is going to remain there for a while. And then the Sun and Moon, 28 degrees of Taurus. So if you look at the chart, you'll see the planets are just lining up in Taurus. It's a good time to know where your Taurus is. If you are a Taurus, let me know down in the comments, happy birthday to you. But you will definitely be feeling this energy. And if you are a Taurus, this Jupiter in Taurus is a really lucky year for you. This is your chance to manifest. This is your time to go before the king and tell the king your wishes, because they will really come true when you have Jupiter in Taurus. And so if you're a Taurus, I say get ready to be ready and get your wish list out and know what it is you want to manifest, because you just might get it this year. Lucky, lucky Taurus. And Taurus is an earth sign. It's represented as the bull. So the energy moves a little bit slower, like trying to get a bull to move. It's like we're trying to do a lot of things and things just aren't happening. And there's a bit of a standstill energy with this Taurus new moon. And the best thing you can do, I say, is get out into nature. Do some earthing, put your bare feet in the spring grass, or if you're lucky enough to be on a beach, just go barefoot on a sandy beach, really connecting with that magnetic earth energy through your bare feet. It's something that is free and available to us all. We can just go into our backyard or go to the park, get barefoot and feel the earth energy and root down and ground yourself. Or if you're a gardener, this is such a good springtime. That's why Taurus comes in the spring. It's time to get back to the garden and grow some food and grow some flowers. And even if it's just house plants, getting your hands in the soil. There's all these theories that the soil has all these feel-good chemicals that you can actually absorb through your hands, and I really do believe it. I'm a big time gardener, and every time I've got my hands, I feel like when I'm putting my hands in the garden soil, I am recharging them. So when I do massage, my hands are like charged by the earth. So I hope you guys like to garden too, but this is just really a good time to get earthy this new moon Taurus, as we have that whole stellium of planets that are sextile Mars at 29 degrees of Cancer, just before Mars is going to go into Leo, where Mars is going to get a lot more fiery. We've had Mars in Cancer for a little over a month now, I think, and Mars in Cancer has been pretty mellow, and it's been a little bit hard to get your ambition going, maybe. You just want to stay home and not do the thing. But now, as Mars enters Leo, we get our fire back. We are ready to get going on things. We're ready to get out into the world. We're ready to be seen. Leo loves to be seen out in the world. So we will have more ambitious spirit with Mars entering Leo, and it's sextile this new moon, and sextiles are always a lucky sign. So we will have our motivation back, even if it is just, Leo is a little bit selfish. Our motivation and our ambitious nature will be about meeting our own needs and our own ego. I want me, my own. I'm gonna manifest it for myself. But this is a really good new moon for manifesting whatever it is you desire. This is the May new moon, is the most abundant time for manifesting prosperity and money and magic. So, let the universe know what it is you want this new moon, and then believe it with all of your heart. Leo is all about, Leo rules over the heart, right? So Mars and Leo, Mars moving into Leo is saying to really get into your heart space and believe that you deserve what you're asking for, and you will have it. And have the courage to go after what it is you want and just really follow your dreams with this sextile. And this new moon is also trining Pluto. And Pluto is just creating a positive metamorphosis for us all. Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto is like the caterpillar liquefying its old, outdated self and starting all over again. That is the theme of this new moon, is we are starting all over again to just recreate ourselves. Out of the caterpillar will become the butterfly, but it has to be, everything that was has to be destroyed before we can recreate and rebirth and become this butterfly. I have so many butterflies right now in my pollinator garden, and it is so inspiring when you are in the presence of a butterfly. They really teach you that the transformation is going to be positive, even if it means you're giving up a lot of what you used to be to become who you are meant to be. And that is this Taurus process. This is that Taurus trine Pluto right now that we are all experiencing. And remember, trines are opportunities. So this is an opportunity to become who you are meant to be. And whenever you're looking at your chart and you see those beautiful trines, you just hope for sextiles and trines when you're looking at an astrology chart. I love to give good news when I'm reading someone's astrology chart. I'm like, ooh, sextiles, trines. And those are the happy-go-lucky, something good really is coming this new moon. And that something good, that trine opportunity is going to create something new. It's going to rebirth us in some way so that we can step into who we were meant to be, and we can all bloom this spring into our true destiny of who we're really meant to be, and really get moving on that soul path, because Pluto is all about the deep soul path of transformation. And then whenever I'm reading an astrology chart, I look to see if there's any squares, because the squares are what I fear. And squares, in some ways, squares are opportunities too. Squares will bring you an obstacle. Squares will bring you that deep soul lesson that later on you will look back on as a gift. But while it's happening in the moment, they don't feel like gifts. Squares feel like trouble. And this new moon, we have a grand daddy T-square, the biggest square of them all. And it's between Jupiter in Taurus, squaring Pluto in Aquarius, and Mars in Cancer. All the heavy hitters are in this square. Jupiter, Pluto, Mars. What could go wrong? Or let's say, what could go right? Maybe eventually it's gonna go right. And of course, this is affecting fixed signs. Fixed signs, it's always the fixed signs. But you will be feeling this diamond making pressure if you're a Taurus, Aquarius, or Cancer the most. There might be an obstacle. There might be a challenge. Something is coming along to awaken you. And I was just listening to a recording about manifesting, and it was like sometimes right before you manifest everything you desire, the universe will put some kind of test there to make sure you are worthy of what you are manifesting. And that is this kind of granddaddy T-square we are experiencing. The universe is testing us to make sure that we have that divine power, that we can step in to this larger life, that we can become the butterfly through metamorphosis. But before the butterfly gets its wings, it goes through this liquefying state, which just can't be comfortable. And that's the kind of diamond making pressure we are going to be experiencing with this T-square on this new moon Taurus. So just be patient with yourself. just know there could be a struggle or an obstacle, but if something comes up, a challenge, know that's just the universe testing you right before you manifest all that you desire. That's what I'm going to be telling myself. That's how we'll get through this, right? We'll get through it together. And then we also have Mars opposite Pluto. And this is a deeply transformative energy coming in strong that's going to push you into doing something outside of yourself. Outside of your comfort zone. You know, sometimes the universe is going to push you and make you do something and you're like, Spirit, I don't know if I want to do that, but you got to forge ahead and look out, world. You're just going to have this thing, that's opportunity, this challenge, this something's going to motivate you to do something you never thought you would, and your Spirit's going to say you're doing it, right? So just go for it, do it, get it done. And we can't talk about the Taurus new moon without bringing up my favorite stars, the Pleiades, because the Pleiades are located right here in the Taurus constellation where everything's going down this new moon. And the 7 sisters of Pleiades will be just lit up by this new moon. And there's a potential that is guiding us now towards a higher vibrational 5th dimension reality, which we're all stepping into. All of us are getting the downloads, and the energetic frequencies are raising on our planet, and it is time for us to move to this higher level. And this new moon is all about it, with the Taurus constellation right there with the Pleiades, 7 sisters. And if you think you might be from Pleiades, they say that there are several people here on Earth sent from Pleiades as starseeds to help us evolve, and they're all coming in really strong right now. And I really resonate whenever I read anything about the Pleiades. I'm like, I think that might be where I'm from. I don't want to go back. But this is how you can tell if you might be a Pleiades starseed too. Do you have a sense you are just not of this world, and that maybe you come from a better place and you want to go back there? That is the number one way. I think I read that one time and I was like, yep. I feel like I came from a better place and I want to go back there, but I'm here to do some work. And that's what happens for a lot of Pleiades starseeds. They're sent to the earth to help with the evolution and the enlightenment and the increasing energy frequency, but a lot of Pleiades starseeds don't want to be here, and they just want to go back to where they're from, and it's a better place. And do you have frequent mystical dreams about faraway places that just seem so magical, and you just can't quite understand it? When you wake up, you're like grasping, like, oh, I was just at this place and it was really different and it was better, and oh, I can't remember the dream now. I have that all the time. And if you are someone who is more energetically sensitive to just other people, energetically sensitive to the vibe of a room, or when you go out into the world, you're like, ooh, I'm really sensitive to the energy. People who are Pleiades starseeds are incredibly highly attuned to the energy, so much so that it can be overwhelming. And those are the kind of people who need frequent energy clearings, and also just need to spend time alone because they are so sensitive to the energy. And that's another sign. And if you just are someone who needs time alone, if time alone is like nourishment to you, that's a sign. And if you have a deep desire to do good upon this earth, to bring in more light, to bring in more healing, if you are a healer, a lot of Pleiades starseeds get into healing fields like Reiki or bodywork or massage therapy or even acupuncture. All of the healthcare workers, sometimes Pleiades starseeds are nurses, as I've met a lot of nurses who have that Pleiades starseed. And maybe you care for animals, if you rescue animals, And overall, you just want to make things better here on Earth. That's a real sign for sure that you may be a Pleiades starseeds. And if you think you are, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to know if there are any people here who do believe they are from Pleiades, because I really do. I hope you don't think I'm crazy, but I really do believe I'm from Pleiades. Whenever I read about it, it just resonates. And you can go down the whole Google, rabbit hole about it. There's lots of stuff that people have written. But this Taurus new moon with this Pleiades high vibrational energy, and it's such a manifesting moon. This is a potent time to begin again and again. And I am really feeling the energy of this new moon, because I got to tell you, I sprouted all these seeds that I grew indoors. I set my seeds of intention into a bunch of holy basil and lemon balm and kale and zucchini and all these things I was going to grow in my garden on the Aries new moon. And they all sprouted, and I spent a whole day out in my raised bed just putting all the seedlings into the ground with so much care. You can already tell what's going to happen, I feel like. But then I let my chickens out. And I have my raised beds totally gated with a fence around it so the chickens won't get in. But somehow those little rascals, they just got in through like a little break in the fence. And they utterly destroyed my whole raised bed. They ate all the sprouts. They ate everything. And then they dug up all the soil like chickens do. And I couldn't believe all my good works of planting every little seedling with intention and care was just devastated in 5 minutes of chicken. And what can you do, right? All you can do is begin again. And so you plant new seeds of intention this Taurus new moon. And I just went out and got a whole bunch of seed packets of everything I had before, and I'm just gonna replant. That's all you can do. And I thought, well, that was awful, but that's sort of the message of this new moon. I know so many people who tried to do a thing and they failed, and now they're trying to do another thing. And that's what you got to do. If it didn't work out, if the chickens ate your sprouts, you just got to plant more seeds and re-begin. That is the Sabian symbol. And no matter how old you are, you can re-begin. And it's never too late to reseed, re-sprout, regrow, rebirth. Must have been because I sprouted those during Mercury retrograde. I think that's what it was. But this new moon, I will plant new seeds of intention. And this Taurus new moon is the most potent energy to plant those seeds of intention, whatever it is you want to manifest. And if you have a seed of intention, something you want to manifest, leave it in the comments and I will send. I'm going to do a distance Reiki new moon ritual today, and I'm going to be sending out Reiki to seeds of intention, but I'll check back in the comments later too. And whatever you leave in the comments that you want to manifest, I will send distance Reiki for each and every one of you. It's just something I loved. The more Reiki I send, the more Reiki energy I get. So I love giving people distance Reiki all day long. I honestly read those comments and I send distance Reiki. I'll ring my singing bowl for you and send it just for you. So, and when you leave a comment, you'll also be entered to win, for a chance to win a free astrology chart. I give away a free astrology chart reading every full moon, and that will be my next report. So either way, you get distance Reiki and a chance to win a full astrology chart reading. And I've also been reading Rachel Carson right now. I'm rereading Silent Spring, something I read in college, and I was like, I want to read that again. I don't remember it all. And I just love this quote she said. It's so Taurus new moon. She said, "It is a wholesome and necessary thing for us to turn again to the earth. And in the contemplation of the earth's beauty, we will know wonder and humility once more." And so return to the earth, get your nature therapy, go out in the garden. I promise you will find wonder in your garden, in your local park, just anywhere you can hug a tree and get some earthing in. And when I think of this quote, I think of these ants that have been showing up at my doorstep. And I'm wondering if any of you have seen any ants this spring. They always come out in the spring. And did you know they are the most auspicious symbol for wealth and protection? And if you see ants, especially near your front door, I have these ants near my front door, and I'm like, yay, it's so lucky. You are about to receive a financial windfall of some kind. Prosperity, abundance is coming for you, and you should never, ever, ever kill an ant. I remember when I was a kid, my mom would kill ants with Raid. Oh, horrible, horrible. Do not do that, because ants are symbols that money is coming to you. And if you kill them, it's like you're telling the universe, I don't want that money. And so you really want to tell the universe that you honor and respect the ants, and then you will receive all this prosperity that will come. And ants are also a symbol of community, strength, and perseverance. And I know I probably sound really superstitious when I say don't kill ants, but I am really superstitious, and I do believe that ants are such a good symbol. So I hope that you will honor them and see them as the perfect mascot for this new moon in Taurus, because they build these mounds. If you've ever seen, I get some of those in my backyard garden sometimes. We have a pollinator garden, so we just have a lot of butterflies and bees and ants, and I don't ever use any kind of sprays. It's all organic, and so you really get to see nature at work. And the ants will create these mounds, and then the spring rain will come, and it will just devastate the mounds. It will just wipe them out. And the very next day, the ants all come together in community, and they just build up the mounds once more. And so the ants are so good at this re-beginning. Every time they build a mound, it gets destroyed, they re-begin, they rebuild, and they come together again and again. And never underestimate an ant's ability to succeed with these mounds. They will teach you how to have resilience and how to have the power to succeed eventually, even if you got to keep rebuilding the mound, right? And if you have to try and try again and just keep doing it over and over and getting ready to be ready and doing it again. And I was thinking, when I was writing this, I was thinking about that ant song. If you remember, that was just what makes that little old ant think he can move the rubber tree plant. I know I'm really dating myself with this one, but the ant has high hopes. And we could all learn from the ant to be resilient, to rebuild the mound, and just keep your high hopes. Keep hoping. Even if it fails, do it again stronger, better, with community, and hope that this time that the mound is strong enough to succeed, right? And just keep your hope strong this new moon, and get out into nature, connect to the earth, and see what lessons show up for you this month. And if you have any animal messengers, leave them in the comments, and I'll let you know what I think that animal messenger is telling you. Because springtime, when we get back outside, all these little creatures of the earth, they have these little divine messages to give us. And I really believe we can find messages when we pay attention to our surroundings. And just like our earth continues to rebirth each and every spring with the flowers and the butterflies and all that new growth. No matter what catastrophes, we get wildfires and earthquakes and mudslides, but the earth is born again each spring in a complete renewal. And that is the phase that we are in right now, as we re-begin. And now I want to read the Sabian symbol for you. Oh shucks, I didn't save the spot where it was at. Sorry, I just gotta look around here. So this is for 28 degrees of Taurus. I gotta put on my reading glasses because this is very small. Okay, here we go. A woman past her change of life. That's menopause, I do believe. A woman past her change of life experiences new love. And this is about man's capacity to rise in consciousness and feelings above biological limitations. And after having stated the youthful and aged approach of human individual to what his culture has brought him, the symbolism stresses man's capacity to rise above the limitations, both biological and social, that have been imposed on him. A woman is pictured here as the cyclical process, as a receptive feminine polarity. And whenever this stage is brought up to a person's consciousness, the indication is that he should freely open his or her mind to a possibility of new rebeginnings. That's where I got this word, rebeginnings. And ideally, this new rebeginning should imply a more mature response to the new possibility of experience now. Oh gosh, sorry, I just dropped my pendulum. And I wanted to just do a little bit of a pendulum. I gotta get going because I got a full day ahead of me, but I want to do a little pendulum clearing and just clear the way that you can begin again in this absolute renewal, rebirth, and rebeginning. So just take in this energy clearing and let go of anything that is keeping you from rebeginning now. And such a fertile new moon. Whatever you want to create now has so much potential. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe so that you get my next full moon reading and see if you won a full moon chart reading. Thank you so much. And just a little ring of the bowl.